Do what you can, with what you have, where you are. It is hard to fail, but it is worse never to have tried to succeed. Believe you can and you're halfway there. When you're at the end of your rope, tie a knot and hold on. The only man who never makes mistakes is the man who never does anything. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. To educate a person in the mind but not in morals is to educate a menace to society. Knowing what's right doesn't mean much unless you do what's right. If you could kick the person in the pants responsible for most of your trouble, you wouldn't sit for a month. Keep your eyes on the stars, and your feet on the ground. Speak softly and carry a big stick, you will go far. I am a part of everything that I have read. Courage is not having the strength to go on, it is going on when you don't have the strength. I am an American, free-born and free-bred, where I acknowledge no man as my superior, except for his own worth, or as my inferior, except for his own demerit. No one cares how much you know, until they know how much you care. To announce that there must be no criticism of the president, or that we are to stand by the president, right or wrong, is not only unpatriotic and servile, but is morally treasonable to the American public. The things that will destroy America are prosperity at any price, peace at any price, safety first instead of duty first, and love of soft living and the get-rich-quick theory of life. Every immigrant who comes here should be required within 5 years to learn English or leave the country. Whenever you are asked if you can do a job, tell them, "Certainly I can." Then get busy and find out how to do it. A vote is like a rifle, its usefulness depends upon the character of the user. A man who has never gone to school may steal a freight car, but if he has a university education, he may steal the whole railroad. Never throughout history has a man who lived a life of ease left a name worth remembering. When you play, play hard. When you work, don't play at all. The best executive is the one who has sense enough to pick good men to do what he wants done, and self-restraint to keep from meddling with them while they do it. No man needs sympathy because he has to work, because he has a burden to carry. Far and away the best prize that life offers is the chance to work hard at work worth doing. Don't hit at all if it is honorably possible to avoid hitting, but never hit soft. When they call the roll in the Senate, the senators do not know whether to answer present or not guilty. The reason fat men are good-natured is they can neither fight nor run. In this country we have no place for hyphenated Americans. The joy in life is his who has the heart to demand it. If given the choice between righteousness and peace, I choose righteousness. It is not often that a man can make opportunities for himself, but he can put himself in such shape that when or if the opportunities come he is ready. No man is justified in doing evil on the ground of expediency. Character, in the long run, is the decisive factor in the life of an individual and of nations alike. There is not a man of us who does not at times need a helping hand to be stretched out to him, and then shame upon him who will not stretch out the helping hand to his brother. I am only an average man, but by George, I work harder at it than the average man. Only those are fit to live who do not fear to die, and none are fit to die who have shrunk from the joy of life and the duty of life. Both life and death are parts of the same great adventure. Be practical as well as generous in your ideals. Keep your eyes on the stars, but remember to keep your feet on the ground. Wide differences of opinion in matters of religious, political, and social belief must exist if conscience and intellect alike are not to be stunted, if there is to be room for healthy growth. Order without liberty and liberty without order are equally destructive. Order without liberty and liberty without order are equally destructive. In life, as in football, the principle to follow is to hit the line hard. Every reform movement has a lunatic fringe. Far and away the best prize that life has to offer is the chance to work hard at work worth doing. The worst of all fears is the fear of living. Courtesy is as much a mark of a gentleman as courage. 90% of the work in this country is done by people who don't feel good. For those who fight for it, life has a flavor the sheltered will never know. Women should have free access to every field of labor which they care to enter, and when their work is as valuable as that of a man, it should be paid as highly. The unforgivable crime is soft hitting. Do not hit at all if it can be avoided, but never hit softly. All the resources we need are in the mind. The nation behaves well if it treats its natural resources as assets which it must turn over to the next generation increased, and not impaired, in value. No man is above the law, and no man is below it. Look toward the stars but keep your feet firmly on the ground. There is quite enough sorrow and shame and suffering and baseness in real life, and there is no need for meeting it unnecessarily in fiction. People ask the difference between a leader and a boss. The leader works in the open, and the boss in covert. The leader leads, and the boss drives. I put myself in the way of things happening, and they happened. A great democracy has got to be progressive or it will soon cease to be great or a democracy. I care not what others think of what I do, but I care very much about what I think of what I do. That is character. Aggressive fighting for the right is the noblest sport the world affords. It tires me to talk to rich men. You expect a man of millions, the head of a great industry, to be a man worth hearing, but as a rule they don't know anything outside their own business. It is true of the nation, as of the individual, that the greatest doer must also be a great dreamer. The lack of power to take joy in outdoor nature is as real a misfortune as the lack of power to take joy in books. The most important single ingredient in the formula of success is knowing how to get along with people. We should not forget that it will be just as important to our descendants to be prosperous in their time as it is to us to be prosperous in our time. This country will not be a good place for any of us to live in unless we make it a good place for all of us to live in. It behooves every man to remember that the work of the critic is of altogether secondary importance, and that in the end, progress is accomplished by the man who does things. Americanism is a question of principle, of idealism, of character. It is not a matter of birthplace, or creed, or line of descent. I have a perfect horror of words that are not backed up by deeds. Each one must do his part if we wish to show that the nation is worthy of its good fortune. Thank you for watching our video. Don't forget subscribe and follow our channel.